lose 0. So that's the function for the put, for the call and the put. Okay. So that's just a short example, and I'll go through one that's a little more involved now. This, by the way, these are the payoff profiles for each of the 4 individual options. Okay, or the 4 individual option strategies. If I wanted you to draw the payoff of an option strategy that consists of a bunch of options, it's not enough just to show me a bunch of these graphs. I know what these are. What you have to show me is, okay, if you combine these together, what kind of shape do you get? You get a shape that looks like a triangle, you get a triangle that has a flat spot in the middle. So you have to know how to draw these. So I'll go through an example here. Okay? So in this one, we have a business that suffers when there's uncertainty in the economy, much like a lot of business. And we'll say that uncertainty represents itself as high price volatility. Okay? We want to create an option strategy that hedges against some of this volatility. So we basically want to create an option strategy that's profitable when stock prices are volatile. There are many different strategies you can use, actually. But we're going to use one that's somewhat cheap. Okay? So specifically, we're going to enter into these following positions. We're short a put with strike price 30, long a put with strike price 40, long a call with strike price 60, and short a call with strike price 70. Okay? So if you're short a put that is strike price 30, what is the payoff? What is the general payoff of that strategy? Does anybody know? Short a put. I'll understand that as negative of the max of k minus st comma 0, where k is equal to 30. Thanks. And so if you're long a put with strike price 40, then the payoff is max of 40 minus st comma 0. Okay? So, first of all, in the first question of example 3, I asked you simply, how much does this option strategy cost? Okay? Remember, when you're long something, you're buying it, so that's going to cost you money. If you're shorting it, you're selling it, which means you're going to get some money. Okay? And I'm not dealing with bid and ask prices in this column. Yeah?
Are these equations on the sheet that you're going to give us, or do we have to memorize these ones?
They will be on the sheet. I'm going to put the sheet on Blackboard today, so you guys know exactly what equations are going to be on. Okay? So, in this example, well, how much does the long put cost with strike price 40? It costs $5, right? So we got to pay $5 for that put. We're long a call with strike price 60. That costs $8. So we have to pay another $8. Okay? We're short a put with strike price $30. These puts cost $3, so that lessens our cost. And then finally, we're short a call, and those cost $6, but we're shorting it, so we get back $6. So the cost is 4. Okay? And now, part B, I asked to draw the payoff function of this strategy. Okay? So we're going to put the state of the stock price at terminal date here, and I'm going to put the payoff here. Okay? So the payoff is equal to, well, we're short that first put, right? So that would give us max of 30 minus st comma 0, the negative of that. The next put we're long, so that's a positive in front, and that's 40 minus st comma 0. Okay? The call at strike price 60, we're long that, so it's max of st minus 60 comma 0. And then finally, it's minus max of st minus 70 comma 0, because we're short that call. Okay? So, does everybody understand where this came from, this payoff?
What does ST mean again?
What does ST mean?
Yeah.
That means the value of the stock at the date of the expiration of the option. So the final stock price. So if the final stock price ends up being $70, then you made $10 on your third one, right? Because max of 70 minus 60 comma 0 would be 10. And these wouldn't be in the money because 40 minus 70 would be negative 30, and 0 is higher. So that would be a 0, as with this one. Okay? So that's what the payoff looks like, which is basically, I just went back to those equations that I gave before, the 4 equations for the 4 different simple option strategies, and I just plugged those into here. You know? So this is the short puts, this is the long puts, this is the long call, this is the short call. Now, how many states do we have to consider? There are 4 strike prices, so we have to consider 5 states. Okay? So, the first state is, we'll start at the lowest, when ST is less than 30. So when the final stock price ends up being less than $30. Okay? Well, let's look at the payoff. This first one, it's going to be the negative of the max of 30 minus ST comma 0. So if ST is less than 30, let's just say it's 20. Then, well, the max of 30 minus 20 comma 0 would be 10. So that would be a minus 10. But we're just going to do this for general ST less than 30. So that answer is going to be the negative of 30 minus ST. Because if ST were 21, if ST were 29, we'd lose $1. If ST were 28, we'd lose $2. 27, we'd lose $3. 29.5, we'd lose 50 cents, and so on. So that option is in the money, which is unfortunate because when that option is in the money, we lose money ourselves because we sold it. Max of 40 minus ST comma 0, that's also in the money. Okay? So that gives us 40 minus ST. Okay? That's option number 2 that we're considering. If ST is less than 30, then that third option will be 0 payoff, right? Because any value less than 30, if you take that and subtract 60, then 0 is bigger than that. Plus 0. Finally, the last one is also not in the money, so that's minus 0 for the same reason. So if you add these things together, you get 10. Alright? So that's 10. Now we have to consider the next stock price range, which is between the lowest stock price, or the lowest strike price, and the second lowest strike price, between 30 and 40. Okay? It's between 30 and 40, so that first option is not in the money. If you can't see that, speak up so I can try to explain it again. But that first option will not be in the money. Because if ST were between 30 and 40, then suppose it were equal to 35. Then the max of 30 minus 35 comma 0 would be 0. And the same would hold true for 36, 37, 38, 39. So in general, you get 0. Or you lose 0 because there's a negative in front. The second option is in the money. Max of 40 minus ST comma 0 is equal to 40 minus ST. Because again, if ST were 31, we'd get 9. If ST were 32, we'd get 8. And so on and so on. The last option and the second last are not in the money. Those options are in the money when the stock price goes above 60 and 70 respectively. So that's equal to 40 minus ST. Alright? Consider the next range, which is ST between 40 and 60. Yep.
So we plug in 40 for all the ST, right? Is that what we're doing?
Well, you just have to kind of consider the general range of stock prices. So ST is between 30 and 40, right? So it can be anything between those. So it can be 31, 32, 33. Okay? So we know that, okay, if this were 31, 32, 33, 34, then 30 minus any of those numbers would be negative, right? So you get the 0.
Okay.
Now for this one, well, if ST were 31, 32, 33, 34, well, 40 minus 31 would be 9, which is better than 0.
Yeah.
So you get 9, 32 you'd get 8, 33 you'd get 7. And this is the general form of it. So 31 you'd get 9, 32 you'd get 8, because 40 minus 31. And so this is the general form. So basically, if you find that that general range will produce an in-the-money option, then just take the 40 minus ST and put it there.
Okay.
Otherwise, take the 0 and put it there. Okay? So now ST between 40 and 60. Okay. So when ST is between 40 and 60, this is the negative of the max of 30 minus ST comma 0. Sterling, do you have a hunch about what this will be at this time? Will it be 30 minus ST or 0 when ST is between 40 and 60?
Be positive.
It would be positive, and because it's positive, what would we pick? Would we pick the ST, the 30 minus ST, or the 0?
30 minus ST. No, 0.
You pick 0. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So the stock price is between 40 and 60. Okay. So yeah, you said positive, and I agreed with you mistakenly. It's negative. Okay. Really confusing everyone here. So when it's between 40 and 60, then at best it's going to be a negative 10, and at worst it's going to be a negative 30. Right? So we don't want any of that. So we're going to take the 0 instead. Okay? The max of 40 minus ST comma 0 will also be negative for all values between 40 and 60, right? Because 40 minus 41 will be negative 1, 40 minus 59 would be negative 19. So that would be just a range of negatives. So we take the 0. The third one, the call option, so for values between for ST values between 40 and 60, what does this call option give? Gerardo, do you have a hunch about what this third call option will give us? Will it give you ST minus 60, or will it give you 0? You think? That's right. So, between 40 and 60, if you subtract 60, you're always going to get a negative number. So you do get 0. Yes. Okay? And then when ST is between 40 and 60, for the last one, of course, that one is also not going to be in the money. So that's 0 as well. Okay? So, this thing gives a payoff of 0. Using some tricky addition techniques of adding and subtracting zeros. So, when ST is between 60 and 70, well, it's pretty similar. The first put option is not in the money. The second put option is not in the money. However, the third call option, we're between 60 and 70 now, and the call option gives you max of ST minus 60 comma 0. So do we pick the ST minus 60 or do we pick the 0? The ST minus 60. What about the last call option? Are we going to be subtracting an ST minus 70 or are we going to be subtracting a 0? A 0. So we get ST minus 60. And then finally, for ST greater than 70, well, obviously the puts are not in the money anymore. But let me know if you can't see why. Puts like it when the stock price is low, by the way. Calls like it when the stock price is high. This one is still going to pay off ST minus 60 because ST is greater than 70, so it'll give you a nice payoff. And this other one will also be in the money, which is unfortunate for you because that's a negative, because you sold it. If you sell an option, you do not want it to be in the money. This is 10.
Wait, how is that?
How is it 10?
Yes.
Try adding all that together. Negative 60 minus 7.
Double negative?
Yeah, double negative.
Back to the 60 grade.
Yeah. It's just easy to miss these things sometimes. You just miss a sign and then all of a sudden you're subtracting something instead of adding it. You know, it happens all the time. So part C. Now basically using this payoff function, draw the payoff graph of this option strategy. Okay? So we're going to draw the graph, the payoff on the y-axis, and terminal stock price on the x-axis. Okay? We're going to put down the relevant strike prices, the 30, the 40, the 60, and the 70. Okay? So when ST is less than 30, we always get 10. Let me know if you don't know why I drew it this way. But for any ST less than 30, we get 10. Okay? When ST